All right, welcome to Lab 4. So the first piece of good news that I want to give to you is starting this lab, you are allowed to work in pairs, okay? Groups of 2, no more than 2 though. You don't have to, you can still work by yourself, that's totally fine, but you now have the option to work as a pair, okay, and share your code with each other. So I think that I'm just going to allow this until the end of the semester, so you can just assume that I'm going to allow you to work in pairs until the end of the semester, unless I tell you specifically not this lab, okay? I don't think I'll do that, though. So what I want, if you do choose to work in a pair, is for each of your group members, for each member of that pair, to submit separately to the auto grader. So you gotta both submit the same code. That makes it a lot easier for me to give you a grade. And then also include a comment in your code saying who you worked with, because if I find that people submitted equivalent things, I would normally be giving them a 0, right? Because you would have cheated. This is no longer cheating, so I want to make sure that you worked with somebody, and I want you to tell me who. This is now going to give you some logistical issues, right? If you want to transfer code between you and your partner, and I can help you with that. So talk to me if you are unsure about how to best share your code with your group member, and go forth and feel free to shout out on Discord if you're looking for a partner, and other people can chime in and say, hey, I want to be partners with you. Okay, so feel free to spam the Discord for a little while as you're looking for a partner. That's totally okay. All right, so now let's get into the actual lab. So this one is about longest words and vectors. So get the code. You're going to have 3 files in that lab04 directory, okay? Let's talk about the first one, calculating the longest word, all right? So what you're going to do is you are going to read a file, shakespeare.txt, and you're going to give that as input to your program. There's a special character, use the less than sign on the terminal, to give the contents of a file, the complete works of Shakespeare in this case, to a program. Okay, it's as if a human was typing to CN on the keyboard the contents of Shakespeare. So it saves you a lot of time, right? So this is going to redirect, we say, a file to a program. All right, that's how I want you to do it. So you're going to find the longest word in a file that has been redirected to CN. Okay, that's how you do it on the terminal with that less than sign. And what you need to do is you want to read every single word in the file as long as you can. Okay, read every single word that the user ever types until they're done. Okay. And this is how you do it. You want to keep reading words while there are still words left in the file. And what you can do is set up a loop that reads a word in the condition, weirdly enough. Okay? So I want you to use this style because eventually, as long as there is a word to read, this will be true and truthy. And in the body, you will have a new word to work with. If you get to the end of the file, as you're doing this way, you're giving a file always, and it's being typed in for you to see in. If you hit the end of that file, this will fail and give back false, believe it or not, which will stop your read a new word loop, okay? So I want you to do it like this, and that will correctly read a new word into a string variable. Isn't that cool? It'll be false after you've read every single word. So yeah, that's how you do it. So get that program working. I'm going to show it to you in a second, but compile it as normal, but you run it like this. You say /longest word, a less than sign, and then the name of the file you want to type into CN, okay? It's going to read that file and type it in for you, okay, to your program. And file name can be any text file. I've given you one. You can make your own, of course, and give that a try, okay? So that's how you do it. That's how you run it. And apparently, the longest word in the complete works of Shakespeare is tragical, comical, historical, pastoral, semicolon, okay? You don't have to worry about getting rid of punctuation or anything, all right? So the longest word includes that semicolon. And so that's what is going to output when you run it with this file. So yeah, definitely make some of your own files too, so that you are extra confident that it's doing the right thing. But here's how you do it. I've already set up this loop for you. CN into a current word variable, let's say. And so that'll read a single word at a time into current word. And it will eventually, this will become false once there are no more words to read, okay? So definitely look at those comments. And then keep track of, in your loop, the longest word. So you're going to have to add some stuff, of course, to this program to keep track of the longest word. That's kind of like finding the maximum thing, right? The maximum length word. So think of it that way, maybe. And then you'll output the one that you found. All right, so that's how you calculate the longest word, and also how you redirect things to redirect files into a program as input. Then for your next program, I want you, that's called vector operations, I want you to use command line arguments, okay? I want you to get a bunch of things after the name of the program that are numbers, all right? You're going to get a bunch of numbers from the user, as many as they want to type space separated, and I want you to put them all into a vector in that order, okay? 1, 2, 3. It makes the vector 1, 2, 3. This one makes the vector 2, 5, 4, 0, 3. Does that make sense? So whatever the user gives you is going to go into a vector, okay? And they're giving you those numbers that they want put in that vector as command line arguments. So let's go there, use argc and argv. Here's the vector that you need to populate. Read all the command line arguments, not including the name of the program, into the vector. Make sure that they become ints, right? Because they're always C strings at the beginning. Make sure to convert them. And then I want you to do a bunch of stuff with that vector that you're filling up using the numbers that the user gave you. I want you to find the minimum value. I want you to find the maximum value. I want you to find the index of the minimum value and the index of the maximum value. So those kind of go hand in hand. So like right here for 1, 2, 3, the index of the min is 0 and the value of the min is 1, right? For 3, the index of the min is 2 in the vector, and then the value of the min is 3. Sorry, the max is 3. Index of the max and the value of the max. So that's what you can do, and that should work for everybody. So like index 0, 1, 2, 3 is the min here, and the minimum is 0. So 0 for the min, and min index is 3, okay? And max index is 1, max value is 5. Does that make sense? So you're going to find that index and also the value of the min and the max. And then also, you're going to need, you're going to need to find the second smallest element, and duplicates count as separate elements. That's totally fine. So if it was like 1, 1, 2, 3, the second smallest element would be 1, okay? Duplicates count as separate elements, and you'll find the second smallest element and the second largest element of that vector. It could appear anywhere, right? Could appear like the 4 is the second smallest element for this one, and the 2 is the second smallest element for this one. It's all out of order, right? The user does not have to give you numbers in order. You are going to still have to find the second smallest and second largest element. And there is a comment, if you read all of these, there is a hint about how to find that second smallest and second largest element, if you read into that comment enough, okay? So think about it that way. You're going to find, you're going to get all the things from the user, put them into a vector called v, and then you're going to find the min, and the index of it, and the max, and the index of it, and then the second smallest value, and the second largest value, okay? So that is what I want you to do for this program, and it's called vector operations, okay? So it's going to take some command line arguments. So get that working, as well as the longest word, and turn both of those CPP files in. You don't have to turn in shakespeare.cpp. I have that on my end too. And that is that, okay? So this lab will be due week 8, okay? So keep that in mind, and that is your lab 4, and remember that you're allowed to find a partner. So good luck. Please yell at me if you have any questions, and I will see you potentially in the midterm or next week.